We're just waiting for that record button, and there we are, bam, like that. We really have the luck with us. I don't want to call it luck, but usually when I say it, that's exactly the same time Janice points just to make sure that I've seen the record button, which is pretty cool. And it kind of works that way. It's kind of weird what you put out in the universe. And today, good morning, it is Wealth Wellness Wednesday. Two sisters, Carol Sue, AKA Naughty Boss Lady Canna, published author, with somebody else that's published many times in a different way as well, with two
sisters. Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Janice, AKA Wellness Diva 4.0, and I just caught a glimpse of my dune. I kind of look like alfalfa today, so I'm just going to go. See, I got the little.
Not looking too good either. I got.
I know. Anyways. A lot of times we always talk about phrases or words for me that pop up. Sometimes they pop up at not the right time. So as I'm getting everything up and running, I always think to myself, well, what am I going to put in the tagline? Or sometimes I don't know what to put. And then it just boom came to me. It's going down for real. That song. I don't know who sings it.
I love that song. It's such a beat.
And they usually play that at IOKV North Haven. So just kind of get into the jam of it, of throwing those hooks. Oh boy. But anyways, Wealth Wellness Wednesday. So much going on, so much to be thankful for, so much blessed to be thankful for. Why don't you hit it off?
All right. Well, that sounds great. And for those who are new to our podcast, I know at Pickleball, everyone's asking, where do I find this Two Sisters? You're always doing podcasts either from Pickle U or, we know that you do it sometimes before you get to Pickleball. Tell us more about it. And I was really kind of explaining to a lot of people yesterday about we do actually do different themes. So on Wednesday, we call it Wealth Wellness Wednesday for a reason. There's always a reason of what we do. And you always do things with intention, right? Or at least you should be, like we are. And when you do things with intention and purpose, when you actually follow through with it, you reap the rewards and the benefits that come twofold back to you that you don't even realize, right? So Wealth Wellness Wednesday, it happens to really understand and appreciate the correlation between having a healthy relationship with your wealth and then actually paying it forward. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have that wealth. I don't have the wealth that you're talking about. Wrong. In the entrepreneurial world, we always chat about, building your surrounding and surrounding yourself, and actually shouldn't even be just an entrepreneur that's doing this. Everyone should be doing this. Surround your things that bring you joy, impact you in such a positive way that you want to mirror it. And when you mirror that kind of lifestyle, you see the benefits and the blessings from that. So Wealth Wellness Wednesday has to do with a financial exchange with someone that you don't know. Now, how do you go about doing that? Really, when you think about it, how would I have a financial exchange with someone that I don't know about? I already give to charities. Why do I need to do that? The point being, there's a lesson, and it's actually an action that really gets you and your mindset to appreciate the healthy relationship with wealth and wellness, because they do go together, and then paying it forward to an unsuspecting person. And that is why it's someone that you don't know. It has nothing to do with the monetary amount. So I want to make sure that we're really clear on that. It could be a quarter, folks. It could be $1. It could be $5. It could be $100. It doesn't matter what the actual financial exchange is. Exchange, that's kind of a hard word this morning. It has to do with the actual action and paying it forward to create that momentum of giving, of passing on kindness, of maybe impacting someone's day, even in the smallest way, because we talk about that, impacting someone. How do we do that? We could do that with a smile. We could do that opening up the door. A lot of people have that gadget now. I don't even know what you call it, but there's so many companies out there that are making it. I'm using my lip gloss to mimic it, but they have this door thing that you can open and shut, because some people are still quite germ conscious. So the point being is, how can we do that? How can you have a financial exchange with someone that you don't know? So I'm going to give you some examples. A lot of times, sometimes I will go to, a store. Could be a Walmart, Kohl's. Well, actually, there's no Kohl's around here. Target, Marshalls, Publix, gas station, wherever it may be. And sometimes I have it planned out. So I try to think of a person, a category of a person that I know that I can impact somehow. I usually go to either pet lovers or young moms or young parents. Well, I shouldn't even say young, just parents in general. Because when you think of that busy mom who is now, well, not in Florida because kids have been back in school. They didn't, they only did the remote learning for a short period of time. However, that young mom or that, mom that's got school-age children, where, they're at home, they're kind of balancing that. Maybe their career is taking a pivot and they're home more, but of course they still go grocery shopping. But then maybe they don't have time to get their nails done. Maybe they don't have time to even go get that, to coffee, which you know how I feel about caffeine. However, I'll take a bill, whatever the size bill is, and I use a bill. You can use coin, but I use bills. Maybe I'll put them in a diaper bag. Maybe I'll put them in a box of diapers. Sometimes I'll go into the dairy section because, they're buying milk, or, the kids section. The kids section has yogurt, their own kind of yogurt, and I'll just slip some bills in between, the cases that are in there. Why do I do that? Well, let's think about that. When you think of wealth and you think of wellness, imagine, and I'm going to actually turn it over to Jan so she can kind of get the feeling of how that would feel. But imagine opening up something, regardless of what it is, cat food, whatever, and all of a sudden $1 bill comes out, or a $5 bill, or a $10 bill, or a $100 bill. Or if you're a waitress, now that's someone that you don't know, so you can have a financial exchange with someone that you don't know, you double the tip. How would that make you feel, Jan? So take it from the perspective of the person receiving the gift. Go ahead.
Well, let me back up a little bit. When you make an exchange like that without the expectation of receiving anything in return, in doing that, you've not only given to the person, but technically you've also given to yourself. Now, think of that waitress, and I think that's a great analogy of somebody unsuspecting that, let's face it, they work their tails off. They are amazing, and they work very hard. What if that is a single mom? And let's say you don't know the scenario of what they're going through, but let's say it's a single mom and she has to save up $20 for her child to go on a field trip. She has this table that she's waiting on. What, as if you said you doubled that, her tip, probably right there would be exactly what she needs. When she picks that check up, think of that, oh my gosh, feeling. Now, we've all had them with different things that have surprised us, or, an exchange of a birthday present, whatever it may be. You get that, oh my gosh, I can't believe they thought of me that way to double my tip. Like, this is amazing. Now I can do this for my child. Now, a lot of people too, because we are in this digital age, and I was thinking about this morning, how can we make an impact on a Wealth Wellness Wednesday within our own neighborhoods? Now, everybody knows, pretty much everybody around me is related to my husband. But, what if you had an idea to impact somebody with, let's say you write out a little card. Hey, thinking of you. I know you like to go run down to Cumbies to get your coffee. Here's a $5 gift card. So whatever that is, like, think of the person, or maybe, let's say my favorite number is 5. So maybe you think of 5 close friends to give them something like that, but maybe do it anonymously in a way where they won't know it's from you. Now, my handwriting, everybody knows my handwriting that knows me. So I would have to type it out. So, but think of that unsuspecting person. Or again, you go through Dunkin' Donuts, pay for the person's coffee behind you. Think of the ripple effect that's going to create. Somebody who's maybe in a hurry and is behind you, and oh my gosh, maybe they forgot their wallet and they're like, oh my God, I'm in a line and I'm starving. I really need this. And they're scrambling and they get up to the window. The person says, you're all set. Your order's been taken care of. Now, maybe that person right then and there can't do that exchange. Think of what they might do later on.
That is so true. And I think the whole point of it being unsuspected and someone that you don't know is because you're taking the gamble on, you don't know how it's going to go forward. And you're not really supposed to know how it's supposed to go forward. You're supposed to imagine, because what you're imagining is you're putting out in the universe more good vibes. So that is why with Wealth Wellness Wednesday, we say, a lot of people say, well, I give to a charity, I've got a friend that needs help. We understand those things and we still want you to give to those things, but we want it in order to really, truly impact. That is the whole point of going to somebody that you don't know. So when you're in a store line, and I've done it, I get a rough idea. Like I may even look behind me and say, oh, they probably got $10 worth of things there. And I'll just say, give the cashier $10 and say, put that towards whatever they're doing, and make sure that you bring up the 10 before if there's a different amount, they got to put in their debit card or whatever. And that's trust. That also has to come out with a lot of trust if you do that way, because you're trusting the person that you're giving it to that you might not know. I usually try to go to a cashier I do know, but you might not know. But then I look at that twofold. If for some reason it doesn't pan out that way, maybe it's because the person that received the $10 actually needed it as well. So I don't look at it from I'm watching you to make sure you do it. I'm trusting the universe that the $10 is going to go to where it's supposed to go to. Because in that way, I'm not only getting somebody else involved with my Wealth Wellness Wednesday, I'm impacting them as well to show them the actual action. Because 9 out of 10 times really good people are going to feel good about also getting involved doing it with you. And it's also a kind of a teaching moment for them as well. So the whole point is, when Jan is talking about the ripple effect is what we are all creating. So imagine this. Think of people in your circle, people that you know, maybe having a chat with them about, hey, I would love for you to get on board with our Wealth Wellness Wednesday with Two Sisters and understand the value and healthy relationship with finances and money, and in relation to giving and giving to somebody that's unsuspecting. And I'm going to quote, gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. So what are we really creating? We are putting out in the universe about that we respect and know the healthy relationship that we have with money, but we're also giving and showing gratitude, which is the greatest human emotion. And how does that transpire our community, our world? So think about that. Think about how many people are in your circle. And that's kind of like a homework assignment for all of our listeners and our viewers. Think of who's in your circle and start chatting about Two Sisters Wealth Wellness Wednesday and having that impact. And I love that it's a designated day, because what happens, it becomes a habit, right? What day do you have to take your trash out? What day do you have to take your recycle out? What time do you have to pay a bill? When you start understanding that Wednesday, is Wealth Wellness Wednesday, it just becomes part of your daily routine. And imagine impacting your inner circle. And guess what? They start impacting their inner circle to do it, not to give it to, but to do it. Do you think the world would change a little bit, Jan?
I think so. And going back to the cashier, think of how she's going to feel when she is a part of that. And maybe that starts creating ideas in her mind on how she would like to impact her community or be a part in that. Like, who wouldn't want to be a part of something like, it's exciting. It almost in a way reminds me of a scavenger hunt, because sometimes when I go out and do that, I'm thinking about what I want to do, but it doesn't come to me right away how I do that. So, perhaps I'm in Target walking around and, looking at different things I need to get. And, oh my gosh, so that starts the creativity process. And it sparks your creativity.
Absolutely. And I do these little cards from one of my coaching groups, Ray Higdon, shout out to Higdon Group. And this is where I kind of heard about Wealth Wednesday is how they word it. We have chosen Wealth Wellness because we also want to show the impact of having a healthy relationship with money to really, really impact so many people. So a lot of times I'll keep one of these little cards and like you, kind of like a scavenger hunt. If I'm at a Target and I see, that mom and she's, maybe got to, what happens. I mean, how many moms can relate to being in the store and your kids are acting up, right? Like your kid is screaming, I want that toy. And you're like, Lordy, and just, can I just get these groceries or a few things and get the hell out of here? Because my kid's really having a breakdown now. You see that fluster, and I'll just go up and before, sometimes I'll go up, I'll write a little note. Here's a little something for you to do something for you. And I'll just hand it to her. Here you go. And I walk away. Now, obviously, in this day and age of cray people, because there are a lot of cray people, sometimes I've never had it where somebody got really freaked out, definitely by surprise. But what I like about it, these little cards, is it says it right on there. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. So they see that, so they say, okay, well, she can't be that cray. She's spreading a good world. And the thing is, it's already opened, so they can see that, oh, it's this little card. And I do this with all kinds of different cards. If I don't have these cards, I may put it in like an envelope and say, open up quickly, surprise inside, have a grateful day, something like that to get them to actually open up the card. Because sometimes I also will I'll put a bill. I've done it in like a diaper bag, and I don't have the card on me. And I make sure it's in a spot where I know they're opening up. But, I look at it and, I had someone ask me, well, I don't have a lot to give. It's not the monetary amount. If it's $1, who doesn't want to receive $1? It's $1 off of whatever you're, and look at it this way. More people are probably more apt to pass the dollar on, right? And it's still creating that momentum. So if it's $1, some days I tell people, you want to impact more and you've got $5 to give or $10 to give or $20 to give. Who's to say that you can't just do all $20 bills, $1 bills? Maybe you decide, what, today I budgeted, or this month I'm budgeting every Wednesday, $20 every Wednesday, but I'm going to get four $5 bills, and I'm going to impact 4 people. You can do that too. Be creative. The point is, the creativity is actually part of the process, because then you get excited. You really start that creative wheel in your brain. I know that, between 10 and 11, this group of people, are always at Walmart. And I'm referring to the seniors. The elderly are one of that age group that really has been impacted by the virus over the last 12 months. So what better way? I mean, they're already on fixed incomes. What better way to, a lot of stores have senior day or senior hours. specifically designed for them to come in. Why not go surprise a senior? Doesn't have to be just a mom with young children or parents with young children. Maybe, you know what? How many people have pets that their pets are like their children? Go to the pet aisle. We know how pet food is so darn expensive, right? Help them out that way. Maybe you have somebody that's really, really counting the change in their car because they need to get $3 worth of gas, which in some areas is only a gallon. What if you impacted somebody that way and now you've given a couple bucks? They were able to get that gallon of gas, but they were also able to treat themselves to a cup of coffee or a soda or a water. Of course, I'm not a soda or a caffeine person, you know that, but whatever floats your boat. So that's the creativity. That's the part of the creativity that really sparks the imagination, and you're spreading the spark. Don't you think, Jan?
Spark the creativity, and that's kind of what I chatted about in the Knockout Shelly project. There's always that creativity prospect, which will help you to help others, empower others to have a grateful day. So moving right along, let's chat about some other things.
All right.
So, there's so much I can chat about. We'd be on here for hours, but let's keep it real.
We could be. We actually have never done a podcast that's been, I think the longest podcast we've done was about 47 minutes. No, we did one longer?
Yeah, it was the other day, it was about 51 minutes.
Wow. And a lot of podcasts are an hour, 2 hours long. There are a lot of podcasts that have that to them. We look at it from a couple different points of view. Obviously, it depends on the subject matter, of course.
Sure.
We're really into the conversation. We just kind of go with it. So we do always value everyone's time, but we love it because we were loading everything up live, but you can always go back to it. Right, Jan?
Right. And somebody had asked a potential guest last week about, why don't you just pre-record? And I'm like, I guess we could do that, but we don't want to do that. We want to show how authentic and goofy and alfalfa hairstyle. You know, this started out, and I always go back to this. This started out when Two Sistas evolved last year. Actually, Two Sisters in a book, and we obviously shortened it. But that's how it evolved, to show the authenticity, excuse me, to let others know that, hey, you have something to chat about that you want to share with the world. Why not start a podcast? Everybody, well, I don't know about everybody, but a good majority of people are listening to podcasts. That's how this part of Two Sistas started. It's doable. It's fun. If you told me last year at this time that I would be in charge of the controls, yeah, okay, right. Obviously, I'm more tech savvy than Carol Sue, but that's where the balance comes in. That's where the fun conversations come in. And I'm just kind of looking at mommy and daddy behind me, and I just got to move this because mommy's blocked there.
Yeah, mommy's blocked there. But that is true. I mean, Jan is you know, and a lot of people will ask that question. Well, you're pretty good with technology. Yeah, I'm pretty good at it. I don't have the patience for it. And there's the difference. You can be really good at something, or eventually like, okay, I can figure it out. But sometimes it takes patience. And when it comes to technology, I have none. Like literally, I can tell you how many apps I've either installed and then uninstalled because I couldn't figure them out. Now, obviously, if I took the time, Jan, part of the from my perspective, Janice's attributes to technology, it's the challenge of trying to figure it out. She likes that kind of stuff. I know.
It's like a puzzle. Think of how many people bought puzzles last year.
That is true.
Think of how many people started listening to podcasts. Think of how many people want to start a podcast.
And so true. So true. All of that.
Speaking of podcasts, I was just looking for my little clipboard. Oh, here it is. we have April 1st, again, will be our 200th episode. So just wanted to let everyone know that again, and I'll probably be saying that every day. And that's what I want to impress upon our viewers and listeners. By the way, I would love to know from our viewers and listeners, what other podcasts do you like to listen to?
Why don't you tell us one of your favorites?
Well, one of my favorites obviously is Dan Bongino. I love listening to him when I'm working. There's a health and wellness podcast, two health coaches, and they talk about health coaching, obviously, and business. Sometimes I listen to Jay Shetty on, I think he's on iHeartRadio. And of course, my business and life coach, Lisa Marie Pepe, The Resiliency Factor. Love her new podcast, and she's had some amazing guests on that. My gosh, there's so many different ones out there. So would love to know from our viewers and listeners, who do you love to listen to and why?
Right. And I think that's so paramount. I love the fact that I believe Dan is taking over Rush Lumbard's spot. I believe that's what I heard.
Yes.
And I loved listening to him from politics. But there are some other ones of, that are religious based that I'll sometimes listen to, chatting about like how to get your all about mindset, because obviously I love anything to do with mindset and health. So there is a wealth of podcasts. And what I love about a podcast, because we're in the day and age of not so credible news media outlets, that is why I truly believe the podcast industry as a whole, networking, is really impacting people in a more profound way, because number one, you're going to get viewpoints for sure. But that's the point. It's like someone's in your kitchen or your living room or your family room chatting with you. So a lot of times, like if I'm cooking or, if I'm outside of the pool and, I just come back from pickleball, I kind of want to chill and relax. And I want to kind of know what's going on. I don't go to the news. And I think that's why the media their ratings have significantly lowered, because they're not credible. They're not impacting people in a positive way with information that you can either discern and pick apart of what's right or not, or at least getting different viewpoints. You're not getting that on the news, you're getting a narrative. So with podcasts, while I guess to a certain degree you can get a narrative, because let's be real, I mean, if it's a certain subject line, health and wellness, that's all they're talking about. We love to choose all kinds of subjects. So yes, Two Sistas always talks about health and wellness, but we will chat about what's going on in our world, because we understand politics, community, what's going on in our country. Those things impact our mindset, which trickles and impacts our health and wellness. So it's a whole gamut of things. So all the different subject matters always has a tie-in to health and wellness, unless it has to be the segment of nothing about nothing or going back to the toilet, which I guess could be health and wellness tied into.
Well, that is so true. Well, let's chat about nothing about nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say let's chat about the shitter. Okay, go ahead.
This has nothing to do with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times, I'm cracking up about this. How many times have you had a chat with your spouse? Sometimes it's in the morning, and I'm not the best morning person. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody in the morning, except for my peeps at ILKB.
You know what? I'm wondering if that's a Casella thing. I don't remember any of us being really, perky in the morning, except probably Daddy.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be. So I just get home from kickboxing and I'm unpacking everything and doing this and that. Gary's just waking up, and he asked Google, I don't want to say it too loud because that bitch overhears me sometimes, about the weather. So
Oh, good golly.
She gives the weather report. So he comes over here, says, good morning. How was your workout? Oh, it was great. Blah, blah, blah. We chatted about it. And he said, I wonder what's going on with the weather today. And I'm thinking to myself, and he said, it's going to rain. Why? And I just want to say, why are you asking me? You just asked Google. Now you're telling me what the weather's going to be about. Now you're, excuse me, you're asking me about it. I always have to laugh. And I'm like, I said,
didn't something not connect the dots?
Didn't that bitch over there give you the insight at what's going on with the weather today? I just, that's nothing about nothing. That was kind of my funny thing. He cracks me up sometimes. I give him a look like, really?
Well, here's another segment, part B of Nothing About Nothing. So speaking of chatting with the spouse about nothing. So this morning I get up and Jerry Seinfeld, for those of you that don't know, we have two cats. One is Jerry Seinfeld, who is the orange cat, and Tate, who's, one lives to eat and the other one eats to live. So one is heavier than the other, but Jerry Seinfeld, who could be somewhat skittish at times, loves to sleep on my side of the bed. So it was probably about, 4 a.m. and I heard, I'm like, and Johnny, because Johnny has feedings, he thinks the cats have feedings. And the common argument with the cats is you're overfeeding them. One is getting to be so fat, and the other one is just so energetic that he doesn't even keep the weight on. But the bottom line is they're eating, and one of them is always puking. Okay, so it's around, I want to say about 4:30. I'm still kind of screwed up with this time, which I would have thought I would have been better, my body better prepared for it, but still takes a little while. And I hear this noise. I'm like, oh, Lordy, one of them damn cats has just puked. And I decide, well, I have to get up to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to turn any lights on. I'm like, I really felt like I was in a minefield because I'm like slowly tipping because, and I normally wear socks to bed 99.999% of the time. This was the one morning I didn't wear socks to bed. So I'm thinking, I'm going to step in something that's going to go in between my toes, just right? So I'm like tiptoeing. I'm like, God help it. If then I'm envisioning stepping in it and falling on my ass. So I make it back and forth to the bathroom, no issues. Shoot. I get up, and I look down and it's literally right normally where I put my feet. And I don't know how I managed not to step in it. So I go into the kitchen, get, paper towels and some Clorox wipes. Jack goes, what are you doing? And he was already up. He's already chipper because he's one of those chipper people in the morning. And he's talking to me in a minute. And I said, one of the cats got sick again. So I go in there and I'm cleaning it up. Well, which cat do you think it was? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, how the hell do I know? I don't know. They both puke. You're overfeeding them. And he pauses. Well, where do they puke? Where do they get sick? I said, on the floor. Well, where does it really matter now? I cleaned it up. It's already cleaned. But where does it matter? So we're going back and forth. It doesn't matter. It's all cleaned up. It's disinfected. It's cleaned up. And he just looks so damn puzzled. I go, this wasn't a major volcano. It was, the cat puked. It wasn't, huge, but it's cleaned up. And he's just looking at me puzzled. And I thought to myself, yeah, this is one of those subjects, nothing about nothing. Let's move on. So yes, that's what I woke up to today. And you know what? It's not always the greatest way to wake up, but you get through it, you pivot through life. And I pivoted, right? I didn't step in that crap. So how many of you overfeed your pets? I'm curious to hear that. Because I think a cat, you're only supposed to feed once a day, right? Or is
I'm
that
not sure.
I don't even know. He's in charge of it, but I know the cats are puking all the time. That means they're overeating. I don't know.
So talking about stepping in crap.
I told you the subject matter always goes to the toilet. Go ahead.
Well, I wear socks at night too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one night somebody had an incident. So it's dark. Now I can identify if it's during the daytime, I know which dog it was. Because I just know. Gary knows as well. So it's dark. And
I'm not even going to ask how. I'm not even going to ask how. Keep going.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that.
God almighty.
So it was one night and it was dark, like I said, and I'm walking to the bathroom, of course, step in it. Jesus, I start saying a couple of words, and of course he starts, he starts to wake up. It's like, what happened? I said, I stepped in. Well, which dog was it? It's dark. Now I stepped in it. So now you don't know which one it was. So now it's when we take them out for a walk, it's shortly after that process of elimination. So we have 3 little dogs. So one has pooped. We don't know who it was because it was dark. And then if the other 2 pooped, then you knew who pooped in the house.
Pets, you gotta love them, but they piss you off sometimes.
Yes, they do. And on that note,
told ya the conversation was going to go to the shitter.
And it did.
And it did. But that's all good, because a lot of people can relate. We have a lot of pet lovers out there. And some of these things that we chat about regarding pets, you can see why those that don't have children or whatever, they care for them as if they're their babies. And, we have similar things, when you have a child, a baby, you're changing diapers. Well, some of us are wiping up other stuff and it's not in a diaper.
True that. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up here on this Wealth Wellness Wednesday. Why don't you create that ripple effect? Who knows? You just might spark somebody's creativity and they do the same. And then it goes from there. Wow. How many people with one person starting that can you attract to that? That'll benefit from that. So on that note, I'm getting a little froggy here. My name is Janice, AKA Wellness Diva 4.0, and I am with TwoSistas.
And this is Carol Sue, AKA Naughty Boss Lady Canna, published author. I'm still trying to wrap my brains around that. And if you have not downloaded your copy of the Knockout Shelly Project, the link is always on our page. Please do so. You are helping to support all these authors and kind of help our ratings keep going up and up and up. We are super excited about that as well. And we appreciate for those of you that have supported that project. Wealth Wellness Wednesday, go out, pay it forward, impact others in a positive way. And I promise you, whatever you put out in the universe, it's the law of attraction. The universe is going to pay you back tenfold. And you're going to, like Jan said, spark that creativity, but more importantly, spark somebody with joy, help somebody out. And you never know how much you really are helping them out until you actually go out and do it. So go out and do it. You guys have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. We do have a guest. What time are we on tomorrow, Jan?
9 a.m. with Jelena Bazrak. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Excuse me. And I want to say she lives in Switzerland.
Yes, I believe. I think you're correct. That is true. So catch us tomorrow. And tomorrow it's Triumph Thursday. So again,
Trending Thursday.
Trending Thursday. I don't know why I do that with Triumph, and that's right, Triumph Tuesday. See, sometimes it just happens that the T words, whatever. Tomorrow's going to be trending, and we're going to be trending. We hope you have a great day, everyone. Go out, impact others, leave your legacy and mark in the world, impact others. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone. It's going down for real. I do not own the rights to that song, and no, I am not quitting my day job. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank God.